Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people are poison, disguised as kindness. They don't scream their toxicity. They whisper it, in subtle cuts, in quiet competitions, in the way they drain your energy without ever touching you. The truth is, toxic people rarely announce themselves. They hide in plain sight. Co-workers, friends, even family. And if you don't learn to spot them early, they'll take more than just your time. They'll take your peace, your self-worth, and sometimes they'll take the life you could have lived. But here's the good news. Once you know the signs, you can't unsee them. You gain the power to walk away before the damage is done. This is the Stoic way, to see people clearly, without illusions, and to guard your mind like a fortress. They subtly undermine you. Toxic people rarely attack you head-on. They operate in shadows, through whispers and carefully chosen words. They'll compliment you in public, but in private, they'll plant seeds of doubt. They might say, "You did well on that project," for someone with your experience, or "You're so confident. I wish I could be that naive." These aren't accidents. These are precision strikes, designed to make you second-guess yourself without them ever having to raise their voice. Maybe it's at work. You hand in your report and they smile, but later you overhear them questioning your ability to someone else. Or maybe it's in your family. You share your dream, and they respond with a smirk, as if you've just told them a fairy tale. It's never loud enough for you to confront them. That's the beauty of their game. It's deniable. If you challenge them, they'll play innocent. "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." And here's the thing. Over time, these tiny cuts add up. They start to shape how you see yourself. You begin to doubt your abilities, your worth, your instincts. That's the moment they win, because now you've become your own critic, doing their work for them. The Stoics taught us to guard our perception. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That means you don't let their subtle attacks take root. You hear their words, but you strip away the poison. You respond with calm certainty, not with desperation to prove yourself. When you sense someone is undermining you, don't waste your time trying to convince them of your value. They already know your worth. That's why they're trying to chip away at it. Instead, stand firm in silence. Let your results speak, and quietly remove their influence from your life. And if that wasn't enough, here's another thing they do. They drain you without ever lifting a finger. Toxic people have a way of taking up space in your life without contributing anything of real value. They pull you into their problems, their crises, their emotional storms. But when it's your turn to need them, they vanish. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's the constant complaining, the way every conversation turns into their story, their pain, their victories, as if you exist only to be an audience to their drama. You start to notice that after spending time with them, you feel heavy, depleted, as though something inside you has been quietly siphoned away. That's not friendship. That's not love. That's parasitic. The worst part, they'll make you feel guilty for even noticing. They'll say you're being selfish, that you're too sensitive, all while feasting on your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. This isn't about being cold. It's about realizing that people who constantly take without giving are showing you exactly where you stand in their life. And once you see it clearly, the only real question left is, how much more are you willing to lose before you walk away? And sometimes, it's not just what they take. It's how they twist the truth to control you. Toxic individuals have a dangerous talent. They can turn reality into a weapon. They'll rewrite history right in front of you, reshaping conversations, denying things they said, exaggerating moments to make you look like the problem. It's not always in explosive arguments. Sometimes it's in a calm, casual tone, with just enough confidence to make you doubt yourself. This is called gaslighting. And if you've ever been on the receiving end, you know how disorienting it can be. One day, you're certain about what happened. The next, you're questioning your own memory, your own judgment. Here's the thing. This isn't an accident. Gaslighting is a form of psychological control. By making you doubt your reality, they make it easier to control your decisions, your emotions, even your sense of self. And it's subtle. It can be as small as, "I never said that. You must have imagined it." Or as manipulative as, "You're too emotional. You always overreact." Over time, you begin to shrink yourself, second-guessing every thought and feeling before you express it. You walk on eggshells, afraid to trigger another round of their truth corrections. But here's what you need to understand. If someone truly cares for you, they won't need to distort your reality to keep you around. They won't have to twist facts or plant seeds of self-doubt. Respect thrives in clarity. Manipulation thrives in confusion. If you felt your mind and spirit bending under the weight of someone else's narrative, it's not because you're weak. It's because they've trained you to put their version of events above your own truth. And once you realize that, once you reclaim the right to trust your own memory, your own instincts, you break one of their most powerful chains. And then there's the way they drain you, not just emotionally, but completely. Some toxic people don't shout, they don't argue, they don't even openly attack. They just take, a little at a time, your energy, your peace. You might not notice it at first. They come to you with their problems constantly. They unload their stress, their frustrations, their drama. And you, being the kind and empathetic soul you are, listen. You offer advice. You comfort them. Because that's what good people do, right? But here's the thing. With them, it's never mutual. When you need someone to lean on, they're suddenly too busy, or they turn the conversation back to themselves. You're not in a friendship or relationship. You're in a one-sided emotional transaction. Over time, you start to feel heavy. Not just tired, but drained. You finish conversations with them and feel worse than before. You dread their calls, their messages, because you already know they're going to take and they're never going to give back. This isn't just coincidence. Some people thrive off being the center of attention, off having someone who will endlessly listen and absorb their negativity without ever asking for change. They don't want solutions. They want an audience. And when you set boundaries, when you finally say, "I can't talk about this right now," they might get angry. They might accuse you of being selfish or uncaring. Why? Because to them, your energy isn't yours, it's theirs. Here's the truth. It's not your job to carry the emotional weight of someone who refuses to lift their own. You are not their endless power source. You are not their emotional landfill. The moment you reclaim your time, your mental space, and your peace, you'll see it for what it was. Not love, not friendship, just dependency, disguised as connection. They twist your words, and suddenly you're the bad one. Toxic people have a way of rewriting reality. They take something you said, something innocent, maybe even kind, and they distort it until it sounds like an attack. And before you know it, you're the one defending yourself. It might start small. You share an opinion and they act offended. You set a simple boundary and they make it sound like you're being unreasonable. Or worse, you confide in them about something personal and later they use it against you, right in the middle of an argument. It's not an accident. It's a tactic, a way to keep you off balance, always questioning yourself. If they can make you doubt your intentions, your memory, even your character, then they win. Because the more you second-guess yourself, the easier you are to control. Sometimes they'll do it with charm, a sarcastic laugh, a playful jab that you're too sensitive. Other times, it's cold and deliberate, a straight-faced denial of something they absolutely said or did. Either way, the goal is the same: make you feel wrong so they can feel right. And over time, it works. You start walking on eggshells. You overthink every word before it leaves your mouth. You try to be perfect, so there's nothing for them to twist. But they always find something. Here's the thing: healthy people don't weaponize your words. They don't play courtroom with your conversations, digging for a gotcha moment. That's not love, friendship, or respect. That's manipulation. The more you notice this pattern, the less power it has over you. Because once you see the game, you can stop playing it. You stop explaining yourself over and over. You stop chasing their approval. And slowly, you take back your voice. And they make you feel small, even when you're standing tall. It's not always what toxic people say. Sometimes it's the way they look at you. That subtle smirk, that raised eyebrow, that silent judgment hanging in the air. They know exactly how to chip away at your confidence without saying a word. They'll downplay your achievements. You share good news, maybe you got a promotion, finished a big project, or hit a personal milestone, and instead of celebrating you, they shrug it off. Anyone could have done that. Don't get too full of yourself. And if they do give a compliment, it's wrapped in poison. Wow, you actually did a good job for once. You're smarter than you look. It's praise that cuts. A gift that's really a slap. This isn't by accident, it's control. If they can make you question your worth, you'll work harder to earn their approval. Approval they never intend to give. What's worse? They often do it in public. A joke at your expense in front of others. A comment designed to make people laugh. But deep down, it burns. And when you react, they'll say, "Relax, it's just a joke." But here's the truth. Respect isn't a joke. Kindness isn't a punchline. And no healthy person tries to shrink you so they can feel bigger. When you recognize this, something changes inside you. You stop seeking validation from people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop explaining why you deserve respect, and you start expecting it. Because when someone tries to make you feel small, the most powerful thing you can do is stand even taller. They punish your distance. Toxic people can't stand losing control over you. The moment you stop engaging with their drama, the moment you stop feeding their ego, they notice, and they'll try to pull you back in. At first, it might be subtle, a sudden burst of kindness, fake apologies, or bringing up old memories to make you feel guilty. But when that doesn't work, the mask comes off. They'll start a smear campaign, they'll twist the story, they'll call you cold, selfish, or ungrateful. Not because it's true, but because it gets others to see you the way they want. It's not about who you are. It's about keeping the spotlight on them, keeping control over the narrative. Because if they can make you feel bad for protecting yourself, maybe, just maybe, you'll come back. This is why it's so hard for good people to cut ties. Because when you're someone who values relationships, someone who gives second chances, someone who tries to see the best in people, you're vulnerable to guilt. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Protecting your peace isn't cruelty. Setting boundaries isn't betrayal. Walking away isn't weakness. It is survival. And if they punish you for saving yourself, then they were never safe to begin with. And maybe now you see it more clearly. The way they reacted when you pulled away wasn't about losing you. It was about losing control over you. And if that truth stings, it's because deep down you already knew it. I want you to remember something. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Not everyone can be trusted with your heart, your energy, or your silence. So here's my challenge to you. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced someone trying to punish you for walking away? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this message hit home for you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs it. Because the more we talk about this, the less power toxic people have over good hearts like yours. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and never apologize for protecting your peace.